Take one.
Hey folks, welcome to our first YouTube post on a Mazda Miata ND2 2023. We're going to be installing the low profile seats for either stock seats or the Recaros. And here you can get a sense of how much lower the passenger seat is. We started that project first. It is complete. There's some quirks with the instructions, so we wanted to make a video to show everyone for the driver's side. And we have the parts laid out here. So we're going to assemble the seat base. And you do want to keep in mind that you do need a special ratchet. It is a E12. So that was something we did not have and had to make a trip on the first run. And we'll get to assembling. All right, folks. So we got the parts laid out here on top. We're going to get ready to assemble the seat rails. And just a quick shout out to Blackbird Fabworks. So they have stated in the instructions that the manual is confidential. So we'll be referencing this on the side while making this video, but we won't be providing it specifically in the video. And we have the hardware and the brace, and we'll get assembling. Thank you. All right, so we have the right seat rail, and we're gonna bring back the slider. And we're putting the bracket on top, or in the middle. Slide the bolt underneath, and the brace on top. And using the hardware, keeping these loose for later, once the base gets aligned on the seat. And then you're adjusting the bracket and the brace to use the smaller bolts. And top down. All right, folks, and we are back with the seat base, the rails, the bracket, the brace, and you'll want to, the one quirk about this part is sliding the rail back and forth to reach the bolt to get a wrench under it. And you'll see the bolts here with the nuts, and we use the leverage of the wrench to pull the seat rail back and forth, or you can use the handle. Here we got our uncertified mechanic unbolting the seats with a E12 socket, and there's one in each corner, 4 in total. And after that, we'll be disconnecting the wiring harness at the bottom of the seat. And with the Recaros, we have the heated seats, so just be mindful of the other wires. With the 4 bolts removed, we're going to tip back the seat, and we'll have access to the harness and do the unclipping.
Hey, man.
All right, with the bolts and the seat removed, we have access to look at the wiring harness. So first remove this part as it's clipped in, and then on the other piece we'll show you where the tab is to remove with the flathead. And this pulls out. You got to give it a good yank. In the driver's seat, it was a bit frustrating, but you'll get it. And the second half of the harness, you'll see how that would have plugged right in, and the little lever here that we pop up And once you hear that click, to remove the first half. Here is the heater module on the driver's side seat, and we are removing that. Cut. All right, and the next step, we have to remove the seat handle, and that is going to require a lot of force. We did it off camera, but definitely have to give that a good rip. And then there's a small screw with a Phillips head screwdriver, and remove the smaller piece of the trim on the bottom. There's several clips under there, so just be mindful of as you're pulling up and over the metal handle.
We haven't released that back piece yet. There it is. The back piece. As we all know.
Oh yeah. This is this back piece of trim. Take a good good memory shot of this going behind the handle and being flush with the underneath the seat here, the leather or the pleather. Here under the seat, we're starting to remove the cables from the harness, and we're going to do the one that's blue and green with a dark gray box or black, and a light gray box with 4 wires. And there's a small clip here, and once it's pushed up, you can pull these right out. And we're also going to remove the looms that connect into the seat base.
Looms.
And here we have the 3 bolts on the back for the back seat attachment, the seat attachment, and one doubles as the seat belt bolt. So one will be slightly different of the 3. Now that we have the 3 bolts on each side removed, the seat detached from the base, we're gonna double check the looms. We had an extra one here that was underneath the the thigh brace. And now we're going to snake these back and start removing some of the fabric. And there's several clips holding in the mesh here, and also on the inner side there's these weird tabs. Definitely want to refer to the instruction manual to see it more clearly. And there's 3 on each side. Here's one of the fabric covers, and it kind of just pulls over the metal bar. And you can slide these to the left or right, or unclip it. There's a little hinge there. And that comes right out. With the seat base, we'll have access to the handle, and this torsion spring can be removed with a wrench, and the pin comes out, and then you remove the handle. For the thigh rest, there's 2 here. This smaller one, and we'll be removing this in the next step. But once you remove this piece, and the other bolt, this pulls right out, and you can see we put it to the side, and we're going to save those springs for later. We swapped out for a 13mm socket, and now I'm going to take this side piece off, or this bolt off, to remove the thigh brace.
Not yet.
We're rewinding back to one of the steps for the Recaro seats to remove the foam, and there's 4 rings in the back here, and it's very difficult to remove. We're ready to cut them with a pair of dikes, and they have zip ties that you can use after the installation. And here we have removal. So they talk about 4 rings being broken and used with zip ties, and the 2 in the back might be able to clamp back down with the fabric. But either way, if they break, you have the option to use zip ties. And now we'll go back to the seat base. And with that removed, you'll see there's more play. So this foam is now unhooked from the frame. And this requires a little bit of push and pull. But once you get that off, easily comes undone. And now we'll remove all of this. Cut. With the seat base, we were struggling to remove it from the seat foam and the thigh adjuster. So as we're going to pull it out now, but the trick is to continue to turn the knob, and eventually it'll release, and you can just slide it right out. Now that we got a better view with the seat off, you can see the holes where the rings would be, or the wires would be, that were attached to the seat base. So there's 4 here, and once removed, and the bolts on the side, and the fabric clip, it just pulled right out, and right now we have it on the bench where we're going to start breaking out the power tools. Alright, now we're getting ready to mark the spot that we're going to cut off, and you'll see here, this is, I believe, I'm not sure what part of the adjustment this is, or the seat base, but here we're going to cut this off, or if you're using a grinder, grind that off. We found that the electric saw works best, so we'll be taking this off, and where the seat handle is, and also doing it on the other side, and we'll show that in the video.
Come on, get in. Was that faster?
Wasn't that my suggestion last time?
Oh, now he takes
It was my suggestion.
He takes the credit for it.
Totally my suggestion.
All right, we're taking a quick break. We just finished cutting the right side, left side, and just wanted to point out for the quirks on the passenger seat, on the low-profile seats, you're going to have to cut this down 1/8 of an inch, and then also drill out, I believe it was 5/16, but it's in the instruction manual, so reference that. But it's going to be for both sides, and then you're using the longer bolts that are included in the passenger kit.
I think we saved 20 minutes.
Wow. All right, with the front piece off, we're looking at the lip or ridge in the back of the seat base, and we're going to grind this part down, file it down on both sides, and that will allow for the seat frame to sit flush. All right, so we have, I just want to point out a piece for the passenger low profile seat rails. This bar on the passenger extends to this barrel, and that's where you're going to shorten it 1/8, and then you have to drill it out to a certain, the measurement is in the instruction manual. We have the seat base that we're trying to attach to the seat and the cushion, and getting it lined up so we can add these spacers into where the thigh brace is, but we're still working out the quirks, and we just got the grooves lined up with the thigh dial, and now we're trying to get this positioned correctly. All right, we're going to do a quick recap on the seat base with the seat. So we have the grooves from the seat base going into the dial, and as it's turned, it's going to lock it in. And also with the leg brace here, we want to make sure that the arms are on the outside and lines up with the barrel. And we'll get to the back of this after. But what we want to do is put the spacer or leaf or sleeve into this hole here, and we had a light bulb moment where putting this in the vise and hammering the sleeve down to the bolt cap makes it easier to push it through and reach the threads. And you'll see how it's such a tight fit that's going to be very difficult to do that part. So you might have take this approach, and it might be easier for you.
I did get screwed. I still can't find it. Come on, honey.
So with the bolts in place here, I caught mine really easily.
Well, you're just a master. It's gonna come up.
Okay.
Maybe. There we go. Whoop. Maybe I pick it up again. All right.
And we're in.
I think needle nose pliers will be in order. Sean, get me some needle nose.
Do you want mommy to take the potty or daddy? No, mommy to take the potty or daddy?
All right, a recap after the nuts, the bolts are installed on the side. So we're reattaching the seat frame to the seat foam, and really look at this wire here. So you want to run the zip tie through the square hole, or the hole here, and then under the wire, and it's going to be in 4 spots. This one here on my left, going to have to do some brain surgery and finesse it through, and then we have 2 on the other side. It might even be worth getting the zip ties through before putting the frame on the seat. That might be easier to snake through. Something to keep in mind if you're struggling. We got the fabric here. The clip is back on. We have a clip here. This is folded in. It's going to look weird because the clip doesn't match the same size as the bar, but going in, and same here. And then we have the fabric here, and you just push it in or slide it. Struggling. There we go. Clip. And then the other frame bar. This fits quite nice. And then we'll get the clips here, and then start working with the 3 bolts on each side to put it back to the... All right. Reattaching the seat to the base. So this ear here is going to slide right through this area and keep it between the fabric, easily removed. So now we'll... And once this ear is in the keyed marking area, it'll fold, the holes will line right up, and we'll get the 3 bolts on each side, and one doubles as the seat belt. All right, folks, and we are back. We got the seat together. So we ended our last video with putting in the sleeve or spacer into the thigh rest bar, and we're gonna. So the idea here is to put the bolt with the spacer, get that set, and then we're gonna retract the bolt so we can align the seat base and rails. And we've already stationed the 2 bolts to the back of the seat, and we're saving the 3rd one to put when we attach the seat rails. Now that we got the seat rail attached to the front of the seat, we're going back to the back attachment using the bolt from the seat belt and going through to the back. What's tricky about this is the rimmed nut, so we're going to slide it below, and once it's in place, I'm going to attach the bolt. Or yeah. And a quick side note that I missed, you want to bring these seat rails all the way forward so you have access. And just like that, we are in business. Slick. All right, I will tighten it up. Right. Now that we got the seat bolted to the rails, you want to make sure to go back and tighten up all the hardware pieces, and you can move the rails forward and backwards to get to the access points. And now we're going to roll it over to the side here to work on the plastic trim. And we highlighted it, we touched on it earlier, but we want to get this specific piece lined up behind the metal bar and flush with this, or aligned with this frame, metal frame. And then this piece here, you're going to push it down because you want to have this back clip lined up with this keyed hole. The plastic trim here on the side is loose on the front because we cut out some of the metal frame. So we took a zip tie and there's a small hole and we're wrapping it around a part in the bar underneath the frame, underneath the seat rail. And that way the zip tie here wrapped through the plastic trim and then around the metal bar from the seat frame, and that'll hold the side trim in place better. Alright folks, we are almost at the finish line. We got the seat rails and the base attached and we're getting ready, we zip tied the heating element or module to the old socket that it was sitting in. The instructions call for maybe zip tying it to the edge here, but we just didn't have the cable length, so we found a suitable alternative, and then we're clipping in the other cables together, the ones that we removed in the beginning. So we have the first gray one in, and we ran the seatbelt cable here, and we did a little zip tie action to the frame. And now we're going to plug that. This is keyed, so it's not going to let you put it in the wrong way. And there you have it. And it clips right in. And now we're back to 6. And this is going to go to the harness on the floor seat. That didn't make any sense, the floor seat. And after clipping in the last plug here, we have the 6-plug harness, and this will go to the one that's attached to the floor. And now we're going to get ready to do the seat handle for the 2 sliders here, and make sure that it's angled slightly up. And you will have to use some force. This went down easier last time. A special guest here, the block of wood, is to help pass the key here for the slide rails, and hitting it with the mallet should go on a little smoother.
Does it stop at the spring?
No,
Isn't it sticking out more?
Yeah, it goes over the whole thing. This side's coming. There you go. Alright, so we're getting ready to install the second spring, and you'll see here on the bottom we got the first one with the latch there, and first hole, second hole, and this is all with the seat rail on the bottom here again, and you have that little plastic piece that's shielding. It's good, and the bar's complete there. Alright, so we're getting ready to install the seat back into the vehicle. Our method here is going to bring the seat rails all the way forward. All the way. Now we have the Recaro seat back in the driver's side, and we're getting ready to clip the floor harness to the seat harness. And it might be a little difficult to see with the lighting and being so close to the floor, but we're going to plug this setup in, and we also have the 2 bolts. The 2 holes are for the front bolts of the seat. One here. We're doing the front first, and then we'll do the 2 back. And you want to include the washers that came with the hardware kit. Okay, looks good. There we go. Bang. Set. And then Alright, so we are moving on to the last 2 bolts of the back of the seat, but just a quick mention, we moved the seat rails up a tad. We brought the seat forward just a tad when we did the front bolts, and so now with the seat up and the seat forward, we have access. And here, quick glimpse of the washer bolt, and don't forget the E12 socket. And this hole is a little bit misaligned, but should be good to go. Down and dirty, and she is in for the most part. Whew. Hey folks, welcome back to the Mazda Miata low profile seat rail installation. We're a week into driving in the saddle, and just wanted to give a quick recap and talk about the visibility and the improvement that I've seen. I should say that the joke has been, I was going to show up a week later with a seat cushion. That we thought maybe the seat was going to be too low, but I found it to be very comfortable, and the view is by far 100% better. So we'll see just a quick view here with the seat. It is an inch and a half lower. Movement back and forth has been great, and I haven't had to make too many adjustments because I'm the one driving. Entering, you can do sitting and turning first, or leg first, without too much obstruction from the steering wheel. And let's see what else we got. Got the we got the door armrest and the center console. I found that I'm pretty close to 90 degrees. Shifting has been great. The seating arrangement with the thigh and leg rest has been good. I'll take the camera real quick to do a visibility check. I'm at eye level now. You get a full view out the windshield. The sun strip blocks the sun as needed, and you get to keep the full view. You'll also find looking down shows less hood, maybe see some of the wheel well curve. Driving up to a red light can now be seen looking out and up, which is great. I didn't find any obstructions from the A-pillars. You'll still have the blind spot behind you on both your left and right side, but that is to be expected. I think it's money well spent and worth the time invested. If you decide to go for it, good luck. So we've entered the vehicle, talked about the visibility, and let's talk about jumping out. So we're pretty flush with the sill here, and just getting out leg first is fine. Same thing technique with the previous seat rails, using the bolster or door jamb to get exit out. I don't feel like there's any other obstructions or awkwardness. Since we've done the install, it's been a great mod, and it really changes the driving experience enough to make it feel like it's almost a new car. So we're gonna take off here. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful, because we could have used it when we did it our first round. Good luck on your install, and take care.